I was manifesting extreme gastrointestinal issues. I was manifesting major weight loss as a result of being completely ill. I was manifesting a lot of chaos in my relationships. I was manifesting a lot of codependent relationships at my job. I was manifesting a lot of fear. I was manifesting extreme panic attacks. You see that I was manifesting in an area of my life that I was believing, but I was manifesting quite the opposite where I did not yet believe.
Gabrielle Bernstein, a role model for spiritual seekers.
This is a chance now for us to just go deep into the conversation about the big work that we did just 15 minutes ago. And I looked at my friends backstage and they're like, wow, people are really willing to go there. And I was like, because I'm willing to go there. And also your willingness has such a huge benefit to me because right now, like I said earlier, it's go time. We have this desire to have a different life. Well, this is how. And I think that it's not false or wrong to in any way say that the power of positive thinking will change your life, or that choosing a different perspective will change your life, or that prayer, meditation, healthful living will change your life. Yes, yes, yes. I've been writing and teaching this for 17 years. But what I have experienced in my own therapy for the past 12 years is that through this inner inquiry of getting to know these younger parts of myself, and then going on to become trained in this model, I have reclaimed a life I never thought was possible. I'm living a life way beyond my wildest dreams. And that's since the last time I saw you. You got me? She can tell. I can tell. I feel new. And they say in the 12 steps, they say, like one of the great slogans in AA is, if you want what they have, do what they do. So if you see a shift in me and you see some freedom in my body and my mind and my voice, follow along. In your own way, in your own way. So I'm here just to teach you what I do. So I want to hear from you guys, and we're going to bring the lights up a little bit now. Let's just gently bring up the lights so we don't assault everyone with the lighting. Let's stand up. You're first, my love. Unless you don't want to stand up. You don't have to.
My question is, when you're going through a process, how do you honor the grief, the sadness, etc., and still try and vibrate from something above courage?
Well, I just taught it to you. You don't push past the grief. You befriend it. You check in with it. You become curious about it. You connect compassionately to it. Those are the 3 steps that we just practiced. Check in every day. Okay, grief, what do you want me to learn today? Turn inward and become curious. Where do you live in my body? How old are you? How long have you been around? What do you want me to know? And then the 3rd step is compassionately connect. What do you need today? What do you need today? And that grief might say, I need to just rest. Or it might say, I need to go for a walk on the beach and listen to Dear Gabby. Or I need to just have a nice meal. And the more that you connect to that grief and befriend it, the safer it will feel to reveal to you what it needs in order to heal. Does that make sense to you?
It does, thank you. And can you still manifest during that process at the same time?
Yes, because overriding your grief is the opposite of manifesting. If you're going through a difficult time and you're like, push past it, think in a higher vibration, it's actually overriding your truth. Now, you actually checking in, making a conscious effort to befriend that grief, what does that do? That helps you feel proactive. It helps you process in the moment. It gives you a fleeting second of relief. Manifestation is about being in the presence and the absence of resistance. And even if you have a moment of that absence of resistance, a fleeting moment of relief, that's far more effective in manifesting your desires than pushing past and pushing down and thinking above the grief. You with me?
Gotcha.
Yeah. We can't heal what we're not willing to reveal. Okay? Beautiful question. Hi.
Hi.
Let's not forget the middle.
We were having good chat here in the break about the managers and the fire starters, and we were just wondering what your views are on what makes people stay in manager versus create fire starters.
Firefighters, yeah.
Fire starters.
I mean, they work together, right? So we live in managers day to day, managing, you know, so that could be controlling, or that could be, I'm just using all my own, but you know who your managers are right now, right? They're kind of the behaviors about ourselves that we kind of laugh off, right? Or that people might say, oh, she's so bossy, or those managerial ways that we live. And also other forms of managing could be sleeping on the sofa, anything we do to manage our feelings. When life becomes so activating, or the younger exiled parts of us get super, super triggered, maybe you go home for the holidays and that's where your trauma is from. Or you read something in a book that super triggers you and reminds you of something you thought you forgot. Or you have a very traumatic event. Or even just the slightest thing sets you off beyond the point where the managers can actually still manage your feelings. When the managers can't manage those feelings anymore, the firefighters swoop in with addiction. The firefighters say, pick up the drink to put out the fire. Go dissociate to put out the fire. Go to the refrigerator to put out the fire. So addicts are living in firefighter parts. You with me? Because the managers weren't working anymore. And those of us who become addicts often have had very big T trauma. And so we work really hard to manage that trauma, but when it gets activated by anything, we would turn to the firefighter addictive parts to put out that fire. You with me? Great question.
Hi.
Go ahead, baby girl. Hi.
Sorry, everyone. Thank you, Gabby, for being here. My question is, how do you manifest and be positive when you're living in an absolute storm, when all around you is unbelievable crap happening that you wouldn't even believe? How do you keep, to your vision? How do you keep positive and manifest when you've got this life around you?
Well, when you're living in this absolute storm, sometimes those moments when things have hit bottom are the moments when we crack open. Remember I said earlier, the wound is the place where the light enters you. So instead of looking at this storm as something that you have to fight each day, what if you woke up each day and said, what would you have me learn from this? How would you have me grow from this? I would really turn to prayer. Because when we pray, we suspend our disbelief. We forget what we think we need. And we ask our higher self and a higher power of our own understanding to reveal to us what the next right action is. And often when we're in life's biggest storms, we actually have more vulnerability and more surrender, because what the else are we going to do? All the other managing criteria are not working. That's when people get into 12-step program. That's when people go into therapy. That's when people become deep in their spiritual practice. So let's say thank you to the storm for revealing to you what's possible in your healing journey right now.
Hi, Gabby. First of all, thank you for coming to Sydney. Rumi is one of my favourites, and my question really is around the controller. So everything that you said...
You're talking to the right girl.
I know. And hence, I'm really excited to ask you this question because I relate a lot. Rumi has a quote that I'm sure you're familiar with, that he says, it's not about seeking love, but looking within and getting rid of the barriers that stop you from getting in touch with that space in yourself. My question is, having been through the experience of manifesting through both ways, one is unconscious and one is conscious of those shadows within us, it still worked for you when you were unconscious, but I'm sure action had a lot of, a role to play there. How do you compare the two, and what is the difference?
Well, you only saw the part that worked for me that was related to my career.
Touche.
Okay, because we manifest what we believe. And from a very, very young age, I have believed that I am here to be in the service of others through spiritual connection, education. Even when I was 14 years old, I was leading youth groups in my region and leading these spiritual retreats. And my Enneagram, which is like a personality test, I'm an 8, so I'm a natural entrepreneur. It's just I was brought up with an entrepreneurial mother who taught me that you can do anything pretty much, that you can just start a business, you can do anything overnight. Now, I was brought up with a major lack mentality. When I was 21 years old, I had a quantum shift where I made some cash promoting parties and decided that day that I know how to make money and I'm never going to fear money again. And so that's been my money career story, and that's what you've seen. But if you read Happy Days, you'll know that what happened off stage was pretty scary. Wasn't manifesting much there. When I was off stage, I was manifesting extreme gastrointestinal issues. I was manifesting major weight loss as a result of being completely ill. I was manifesting a lot of chaos in my relationships. I was manifesting a lot of codependent relationships at my job. I was manifesting a lot of fear. I was manifesting extreme panic attacks. You see that I was manifesting in an area of my life that I was believing, but I was manifesting quite the opposite where I did not yet believe. Okay, baby?
I just want to say thank you for Happy Days. It's mandatory reading for everyone.
Thank you.
In particular, women. So thank you so much.
Thank you for saying that. And thank you for that excellent question because, it's a very cool question. I appreciate it very much because the idea that, on the outside, it looks like somebody's manifesting so much. But when I wrote my book, Happy Days, and I started to get honest and reveal what I was really going through, do you know what my publisher said? I wrote it in the introduction. They said, Gabby, we're scared for you. We don't want your readers to see you in that light. Because you were on all these stages and you were so bright and magnificent. We don't want to let them know. Literally, this is what they were saying, not in so many words. We don't want to let them know what a show you were. And they're saying, you're being too vulnerable. My response was, my vulnerability is my greatest strength. And I didn't change a word. Because that vulnerable truth is what I needed you to know. And it doesn't actually, back to our sister's point up here, it doesn't take away from being able to be on the stage and be a channel and write lots of books. Because remember, we can be going through crisis and going through trauma and going through really difficult things and still do a lot of great work in the world. And still be an excellent mother or wife or great friend. We can be going through tough times and still put a lot of greatness out. Especially when you're on the path. And I was going through really manifesting a lot of things I didn't want, but did I not? I went to therapy twice a week. I did whatever I could to calm my nervous system. I became a yogi. I meditated daily. But even my spiritual practice, this is important. My spiritual practice became a manager, a protector. Does that resonate? Well, it is. I just want to acknowledge something, guys. It's really, really moving, and I'm really grateful to you that I can workshop this material with your receptivity, and it's big stuff. And I know I said, oh, it's because of me. I can teach. It's actually you. You're ready for it, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being open to having this parts conversation with me, which can be so hard for people to get, and it can take decades of therapy to actually understand it. And you're with me, and you're tracking, and I love you. Cool. If you like this video and you want to get more Gabby, check out the next one right over here.